Hi everybody, I'm Kyle. If you've been here before, thanks for coming back. If you haven't been here before, don't worry about it. You haven't missed a whole lot, but I am glad that you're here. And if you have been here before, you've already learned that I enjoy talking about soccer. So we're going to be talking about that some more today. And specifically, it's my top 10 favorite World Cup moments for the U.S. team. It's going to be both the U.S. men's national team and the women's national team because it's difficult to fill out a top 10 list with just moments from the men's World Cup for the U.S. We didn't get a whole lot to brag about. But all of these moments, with the exception of one I actually watched, I have personal memories of these, and this is why this is my favorite list, or list of favorites. If your favorite moment didn't make the list, I apologize. It was difficult to already narrow it down to 10, so put it in the comments and we'll talk about it. But starting in at number 10 is going to be the Jermaine Jones goal from the 2014 World Cup versus Portugal. We played them in the group stage, and that was a difficult group stage for us. That was one of the many times that we were in the group of death. We were in there with both Germany and Portugal, who were favorites, both favorites to win that World Cup. You know, Portugal, of course, had Ronaldo, and it was prime Ronaldo as well. It was not this 39-year-old dude who still just happens to be playing soccer. It was a prime Ronaldo, and this goal helped us to a 2-2 draw with Portugal, which inevitably actually knocked them out of the World Cup. They didn't make it out of the group stage that year, and they were one of the favorites to win the whole tournament, and we helped knock you out, even though we did tie. We did lose to Germany 1-0, but Germany went on to win the entire tournament, and they put an absolute stomping on Brazil that year. But anyway, here's the clip for the goal, and this is one of my all-time favorite goals for the U.S. This is just an absolute stunning goal.
Here is Jermaine Jones. Struck it well! Oh, magnificent goal! Jermaine Jones, what a beauty!
So at number 9, we have Lindsey Horan's goal against the Netherlands, which I believe tied it up. And what I love about this goal from the 2023 World Cup is it's not even the goal itself. It's a pretty traditional goal from a set piece, but it's the moment that preceded it. Lindsey Horan and I believe her name is Van der Donk from the Netherlands, who is actually her teammate at the club level, got into it after a pretty rough foul, and but it's actually Julie Foudy's commentary of this goal that I love so much that it stuck out to me. And right after the moment of the foul and the little scuffle afterwards, Julie Foudy said the best way to send a message is for Lindsey Horan to put this into the back of the net. And like 5 seconds later, she scores a header off of the set piece to tie it up. And so here's that clip.
Well, the best way to send a message is to put this ball in the back of the net if you're Lindsey Horan.
Now we play. The bell's ready. In swinging ball, headed down, tied and won! She did it, Horan!
So for number 8, I just realized that 4 of these moments are from the 2014 World Cup for the men. Like I said, it's difficult for you to do a top 10 list for just the men's World Cup moments. Okay, so number 8 is going to be the John Brooks goal against Ghana that sealed the win for us, and this was the first game for the tournament against Ghana. We had actually been knocked out by Ghana the previous 2 tournaments, so it was kind of a grudge match, and we wanted to come out and just send a message like, hey, look, we're not the teams from the previous World Cups. And I feel like we did a pretty good job of that. And yes, there is another moment from this exact same game, not just same tournament, that's coming up later, and I'll talk about that. But this John Brooks goal secured the win. We beat Ghana for the first time in the World Cup in at least 3 iterations of the tournament. And it was just nice to finally get over that hump and beat Ghana in a World Cup. What makes this goal even more special is the interview that John Brooks gave after the World Cup, where he said that he had a dream of him scoring off of a set piece the night before this game happened. And that's just an even more incredible moment for that goal. And so here we go is with that clip.
5 minutes to go. Yes, they can! It's the substitute, John Brooks, for an injury to Matt Basler. Could well have scored.
So at number 7 is the one moment on the list that I did not personally watch when it happened. And I honestly, yes, if this gets any comments, people are going to be like, how did you put this at so low on the list? I don't have any actual emotional ties to this moment. It's a great, iconic moment, and it deserves to be on this list. And most people are going to have it higher on their own personal list, I'm sure. But like every single moment from here on forward and before this, I have my own memories of watching it unfold and happen and everything like that. So without further ado, is number 7 is Brandi Chastain's iconic celebration and, you know, the goal from the 1990 World Cup, 1999 World Cup. They won it in PKs, and it's just one of the most iconic celebrations in the women's game. And I know here in the U.S., it's one of the most iconic moments in soccer for sure with her celebration. So here's that clip. If I offended anybody with my placement of Brandi Chastain's iconic celebration, I apologize. Like I said, I feel disrespectful myself for putting it so low, but I just don't have emotional ties to it the way I do the rest of these moments. So going on to number 6, like I said in the John Brooks goal, we have a grudge against Ghana in 2014. We were able to purge that grudge, and we wanted to come out and punch them in the mouth, and we did. Clint Dempsey scored within 32 seconds, I believe 32 seconds of the game. And I remember exactly where I was when this happened. I was at my friend's house. We had a watch party. There was like 5 or 6 of us around, and somebody was in the kitchen fixing their food because Ghana kicked the game off, and they weren't expecting anything to happen in the first 30, 45 seconds of the game. And all of a sudden, we just start going off, jumping up and down, screaming and celebrating. And they come in and they're upset because they just missed the 5th fastest goal in the World Cup history. And it was my boy Clint Dempsey, who is my all-time favorite American player. So here's that clip.
On the back foot here, Dempsey, an early goal, one of the earliest goals in World Cup final history. Clint Dempsey.
So at number 5, we've got Tim Howard's record-setting performance against Belgium, and you guessed it, the 2014 World Cup. And I promise this is my last moment from the 2014 World Cup. And as you heard, it was a record-setting game. He made 16 saves, which is the most saves by a goalkeeper in a single game. And he played absolutely phenomenal. One of my favorite moments is the fact that after this game, somebody went onto Wikipedia and changed his name or his title to Secretary of Defense, and I just thought that was absolutely fantastic. So anyway, here are a couple of moments from that game. Of course, I'm not going to show the whole game. So
here's Origi with an early chance. On the outstretched boot of Tim Howard comes the United States rescue. Whose touch again and movement is nice. Here's Morelos. Oh, and it's just got a foot, I think, from Tim Howard.
So back to Tim Howard real quick. In that 2014 World Cup, I don't remember exactly which game it was. The commentators were talking about how this could potentially be Tim Howard's last World Cup in a U.S. jersey. So they were kind of outlining his career with the U.S. And career in general. And they got to his very first World Cup appearance. not World Cup, his very first international appearance with the team. And it surprised me, and it surprised my family that we were watching the game with. And we had to even back it up and like, did he just say what we think he just said? And so we backed it up, and they said Tim Howard's first international appearance was in 2001 against Ecuador, and none other than Birmingham, Alabama. And the reason that is significant is because me and my brothers played travel soccer, and us being from Alabama, one of the biggest tournaments was the Vulcan Cup in Birmingham. So we go up and, we play in this tournament, and after the tournament, they're passing out flyers. They say if you're 10 years old or younger wearing any jersey, it didn't even have to be a professional replica. It could be your own personal club jersey. If you're wearing this jersey at 10 years old, you get into the game for free. And so, like, we got that. All of my teammates are going. All of my brother's teammates are going. So, like, we, of course, go. And so we're sitting there. We watch this game. The U.S. beats Ecuador for the first time ever. It's just a friendly, but it was a pretty cool experience to have. And so 13 years later, sitting on a couch watching the World Cup, and they mention that game that you were at as a 10-year-old was the first appearance for some consider him, and I'm one of these people, as the greatest U.S. goalkeeper, at least up until this point, that you were there. Like, I remember, seeing Kobe Jones. I knew that Landon Donovan was there, and Bobby McBride. But like, Tim Howard is just an up and coming goalkeeper. Like, he doesn't stick in your head as a 10-year-old of like, oh hey, I saw him play. But like in 2004, it just blew our minds. So that's another reason why I, of course, had to add this on this list. So at number 4, we've got Carly Lloyd's hat trick from the 2015 World Cup final, and more specifically, goal number 3 that solidified the hat trick. It was an absolute beautiful goal. Caught everybody off guard, and she scored it from midfield. She chipped the goalkeeper. It was incredible, and like I said, that's the 3rd goal that she scored during the World Cup. We went on to beat Japan 5-2 in that World Cup to solidify our 3rd World Cup in the women's game, and just absolute great memory. I'm going to put all 3 goals in quick succession, but number 3 is the best one.
Forward, Brian is there as well. Rapinoe's driven ball in towards line. What a start for the United States! Carly Lloyd, the captain. Plenty in the middle to aim for. Flick from Johnston, and it's turned in for a second. It's Carly Lloyd again. The defending world champions finding their title slipping away from them early on. Here they come again. The long-range effort from Lloyd. Oh my goodness! It's a hat trick. With one of the most incredible goals you're ever likely to see.
So at number 3, piggybacking off of number 4, is the fact that we were back-to-back champions in 2015 and 2019 in the women's game, capping off an entire decade of just absolute dominance. We didn't win 2011, but we did come in second. And so second place finish followed by 2 first place finishes is going to fall under dominance for an entire decade, if you ask me my opinion. But yeah, watching the 2015-2019 teams it was an absolute blast. Of course, coming out on top always adds to the occasion. So at number 2, honestly, these last 2 were almost impossible to differentiate. And I just got to go with, there's one specific reason why I'm going with number 1 at number 1, and I'm going to talk about it. But these 2 goals are probably the most iconic goals for both the men and the women. And so at number 2, we've got Landon Donovan's goal at the last second against Algeria to send us through to the knockout stage. It was win or go home, and because I actually talked about this in my last video that I made. I'm going to go a little bit more detail. So the South African World Cup was hours ahead of where we were. And because it takes place in the summer, I just graduated high school. I had no responsibilities, and I want to go back to having no responsibilities. I stayed up all night. I watched all of the group stage games that kicked off at 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock, the U.S. being the one at 6 in the morning. And my brother had to be awake at work and, to go to work at like 9 o'clock in the morning. And so here I am watching the most suspenseful game that the U.S. has had in a very long time, and at least the first one that I'm getting to watch. And so it's, like I said, win or go home, and we're getting to the 90th minute, and it's tied 0-0. And I just remember Dempsey coming in, and he gets a one shot off, bounces off the goalkeeper, and we're sitting here like, oh my God, we're going home to Algeria. Like, come on, man. And then Landon Donovan, with his number 10, comes off screen out of nowhere, the perfect definition of cleaning up the trash, just taps it in. And the stadium goes insane. I am laying completely flat on a couch, completely silent. And I go from that to just losing my mind ballistic in 0.2 seconds. I'm jumping up and down. My brother comes into the living room, and he obviously has just been startled awake. My brother's not a morning person at all. Like, he's the definition of don't talk to me unless I have my coffee. He just looks at me and he goes, "What's going on?" I'm like, "We scored, we're going through." And he has no idea what I'm talking about because it's so early in the morning. And he just looks at me and he goes, "I don't care, shut up." He storms off and goes back to bed, and I just sit back down on the couch like, yes. So that moment will always definitely, anytime I see, I'm just going to say this for both 2 and 1, anytime I see either of these clips, like, I still get chills down my spine.
Saifi with the best chance his side have had for an awful long time, and now they're stretched at the back. The US have numbers. Altidore squares it. Dempsey's missed it. Donovan has it. From hope, there is glory. It's Landon Donovan. So often the inspirational figure.
So, anyway, that was number 2. Of course, that leaves number 1 with Abby Wambach's goal in the 122nd minute against Brazil in the 2011 quarterfinal. That pushed us through to penalties. We beat Brazil on penalties. We do go on to all the way to the final, and we lose to Japan. But this goal by Abby Wambach, I remember I was watching it with my mom, and she's sitting on the couch. It's getting down to the 120th minute, and we're down 2-1. And we're just sitting here, like, we're sweating, and we're like, come on, like, just do something. And, Hope Solo sends it down to Megan Rapinoe, and she sends in an absolute perfect cross to Abby Wambach, and she heads it in. She goes crazy. She slips on the celebration, and both me and my mom are just, like, losing it. And one of the reasons that this is one of my favorite moments is because this game happened one night before the ESPYs. So the ESPYs are like the ESPN sports version of the Oscars, or what, CMAs or whatever. And so, like, they give awards for everything from best team to best moment to best goals to, dunks or whatever. And so the ESPYs saw this moment, and they threw it into the fan vote for the greatest play of the year, of everything that happened from that point to a year before. And in one day, this moment got enough votes to be the number 1 play of the year in like less than 24 hours. And so, like, I just remember watching this moment, and it was absolutely insane. I just got done editing the video, and I just wanted to apologize about how long it is, but you can't talk about these moments without showing the highlights and the clips and stuff like that. And I also wanted to point out I got 90% of the clips from FIFA TV or FIFA YouTube page. I'm going to put all of the links in the videos because I don't want any kind of copyright infringement. And then one of them came from a YouTuber named Lord Stanley 2013. They were the only ones that had the Lindsey Horan goal with Julie Foudy's commentary, which is kind of, like I said, the whole reason for that clip. So I'm going to put all the videos, links to the videos and everything like that, so I don't get sued for nothing, even though I'm not making money off of this. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.